Are you prepared for a sudden cardiac arrest? It could happen tomorrow. Hello, my name is Richard Lamphere. I'm a registered nurse and program manager of Project S.A.V.E. with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, an affiliate of Wisconsin Children's Hospital, Project Adam. Claire's school is prepared. We want to make sure that you are too. I'm going to walk you through a cardiac or medical emergency practice drill. At the end of this video, you will be prepared to conduct your own practice drill in your school or community. You will also be able to list the potential barriers and solutions to those barriers that may impede patient care during a cardiac or medical emergency. Before we get started, remember that it is imperative that you have an emergency action plan in place. An emergency action plan includes naming first responders, learning the signs of early recognition of a medical or cardiac emergency, developing a communication plan, and always knowing the location of the nearest AED. In this video, we will demonstrate an emergency action plan being implemented. Let's get started. It's a typical day, but when you least expect it, someone could experience a sudden cardiac arrest and drop.
We have the test on Friday.
Miss Pinkett, I'm not feeling well. Can I be excused?
Yes, Matthew. Are you okay?
When someone drops, consider it a cardiac arrest until proven otherwise. Two things you may see that point to cardiac arrest are twitching of the arms and legs and gasping respirations.
Aaron, get Miss Smith next door. She's on the first responders team. I'm gonna call for help. This is room 101. We have an emergency. Please call 911 and get the first responders team.
The first step is to seek help. Activate your first responder team. You can do this by notifying the front office. Use a walkie-talkie, a panic button, cell phone, desk phone, or whatever is available at your institution. This action could also be delegated as you tend to the victim.
This is room 101. We have an emergency. Call 911 and get the first responders team.
I'm going to alert first responder team.
The first responder team should be notified through multiple forms of communication, including loudspeaker, walkie-talkie,
Emergency.
or phone.
We report to room 101.
After notifying the first responder team, call 911.
Emergency. I had a student collapse.
In this scenario, the front office
AED
calls
is on the way to
911.
Please send an ambulance.
When developing your emergency action plan, be sure that you designate who will call 911. We recommend calling using a landline for a quicker response.
Matthew, are you okay? Are you okay, Matthew? Let's clear this area.
Matthew, is he okay?
He hasn't responded.
Has the first responder team been notified?
Yes, they have been.
Matthew?
Everybody that's not assisting,
Matthew.
please follow me.
Matthew, are you okay?
Begin CPR
Are you okay?
by first checking for normal breathing.
He's not breathing. I need some scissors.
If there is no response and breathing is abnormal, begin
Looks like he's
compressions.
Heart surgery.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
In the meantime, The other members of the first responder team are on their way to assist. One first responder is assigned to retrieve the AED on their way to the scene. Mrs. Smith was the first responder on the scene and is now relieved by another first responder team member. Compressors should switch places at least every 2 minutes. The front office administrative assistant and a school administrator stay on the phone with 911. Another first responder team member rushes to the closest exit and waits for the ambulance to arrive. It is important to have someone waiting on the curb to flag down the ambulance. Use the AED as soon as it arrives.
Remove clothing from the patient's chest. Open packet and apply pads onto patient's bare skin. Apply pads as press pads firmly on skin. Apply pads as shown in the press pads firmly on skin. Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm.
All clear?
Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Shock advised.
All clear?
Do not touch the
Hands
patient.
off.
Press the flashing shock. Shock delivered. Begin
One first
CPR.
responder at the scene should stay in contact with the first responder team member who called 911. The first responder team member who called 911 should stay on the phone with the operator to provide updates. Yes, we have a 17-year-old student with a known heart condition, and I think we really need to make sure EMS comes to us as soon as possible, so make sure you have somebody out there to meet him at the front door. The school nurse should always be part of the first responder team to provide medical history and direction.
Carolyn, can you take over CPR?
On the curb, wave the ambulance to the closest entrance to the victim.
Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Shock advised. Press the flashing shock. Shock delivered.
When EMS arrives, they will assess the patient and then take over patient care. Be sure to provide the victim's medical history and the time at which the victim dropped.
All right, airways open.
What's going on, love? What happened today?
We were just in class and he stood up and he was feeling bad and he just hit the
What's your
floor.
name, partner?
What time was that?
It was about 12 minutes ago.
Matt?
All right, and when did you start
Okay, Matt.
CPR?
What we're
About
gonna do
12
is my
minutes.
partner
And when
and I
did
are
you
gonna
stop
get you
it?
hooked
As soon
up
as
to
you
all
guys
the
got here.
equipment we need to. Okay, I see the scar on your chest right now. We're gonna evaluate you and get you to a hospital where we can take better care of you. On the way in and when we get there, okay? We're gonna be moving you around a little bit. If you start to feel any different, notice anything different, I need you to tell me right away, okay? Any trouble breathing, anything like that. Understand? All right, Matt, we're gonna get you moved here in just 1 second.
As part of your emergency action plan, consider who you will send to accompany the victim to the hospital. After the event, an administrator will need to be in touch with parents and families, the school superintendent, and public relations.
Great. Yeah, he's at the hospital recovering.
Okay, we're gonna get started here with our homework assignment. And each person will be expected to complete it in its entirety.
Hey, Miss Pinkett.
Hi,
How are
Matthew.
you?
Welcome
Thanks so
back.
much.
We're so glad to have you back.
And thank you for being so prepared. It saved my life for what y'all did.
Oh, you're welcome.
Do you want to go ahead
You're
and
welcome.
have my schoolwork?
Yes, thank you.
Hey, class. It's great to be back.
Matthew!
The first responder team is critical in a cardiac or medical emergency. As you saw in this video, there are many roles that need to be filled. One person activating the first responder team and communicating with 911. At least 3 dedicated CPR administrators, one person responsible for retrieving and administering the AED, along with a designated backup, one person taking detailed notes and providing medical history, one person waiting for EMS and directing them to the classroom, and 2 individuals communicating between the scene and 911. Remember, it is imperative that everyone on the first responder team be trained to use an AED and perform CPR. There are some potential barriers that you could run into along the way. Here are a few examples of those barriers or misdirections that you should look out for. Never assume that the victim has fainted, had a seizure, or is joking. This dismisses the signs and symptoms of a sudden cardiac arrest. It is a cardiac arrest until proven otherwise. Be prepared in the event your initial communication method is out of service. You cannot have phone service, be without a walkie-talkie, or the emergency button could be broken. Always have a backup plan. Always be familiar with the location of the nearest AED. You will not have time to search for it during an emergency. Make sure it is never behind a locked door or cabinet. Be on the lookout for potential barriers to ambulance arrival. Give specific directions to the closest door. Be aware of potential road construction or parking lots being full, like during school pickup or drop-off. This concludes your training on a cardiac or medical emergency practice drill. Please remember to do a debriefing after each drill with your first responder team. Emphasize the things that went well and the areas that could use improvement. This video is part of the Project S.A.V.E video series, which is designed to help you feel confident to help in an emergency and save lives. The series has 5 topics, each available online for you to complete at your convenience. The topics are Benchmark CPR AED, All Staff Awareness, Life-Threatening Emergencies, Non-Life-Threatening Emergencies, and this video, the Cardiac Medical Emergency Practice Drill. If you would like additional resources, visit the Project S.A.V.E website at the address listed here. From the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Project S.A.V.E, we thank you for watching this video.